Hello YouTube followers. Here's another video on the 850 Fiat Spider restoration project. I want to apologize first of all for being a while since I've posted anything or updating, but it's just really been incredibly hot and humid, and since the garage is not ventilated or doesn't have any AC or even good air circulation, it's been really difficult to work out here for any length of time. I just don't take that kind of heat very well anymore. So plus two, I'm kind of at a place on the car. Maybe if you've done a project like this yourself, you know what I'm talking about, but it seems like you kind of hit a place where you're just trudging along. Doesn't seem like you're getting much done, and just really getting mired down, and gonna have to just push through it. Been trying to get all that undercoating off the underside, the bottom of the car, and it's just been a bear. It just really has. So that's why I have actually got a lot done, and I wanted to comment and just if anyone else is thinking about doing a project like this, one good thing about this is you can refer back to your previous videos, and if you start to get a little discouraged or it seems like you're not making much progress, and it'll kind of remind you just how far you've come, and you can see where it was. So that's kind of neat. I've done that a couple of times, gone back, just checked my original videos, and it's like, yeah, I've actually come a long way. So sometimes it doesn't seem that way because there's so much ahead of you that you got to get done. I wanted to point out I made a huge mistake, not the first one, but probably the one of many. And as you can see, I've got the car now on the rotisserie flipped to the other side, and I needed to do this because I've got to get the other two Fender Wells on this side, on the driver's side of the car. I've got to have good access to them, and I couldn't do it from the other direction. So, but the other reason was I went ahead and did it was because I noticed that, well, frankly, my door gap had changed. And if you can see, I had welded a piece of flat bar across the doors. And it's something I had in the garage. It seemed like it was pretty, thick enough to do the job, wide, wouldn't let it move. But I noticed one day that the flat bar was starting to bend. And so I checked it, and sure enough, the dimension had changed on the door, on the opening. My brother warned me about this. He's a body man. He's passed away since a few years ago, but when I first started this project, he warned me specifically about that. He was like, you've got to watch your door openings, especially if you got it on a rotisserie for any length of time. He said, you'll get all your work done only to find out your doors don't fit. And he said, so that's something, you really got to pay attention to. And I thought I was okay. I kept checking every couple of weeks or so. I would check the measurement again, and basically from the point on the car that I'm measuring them from, if you can see, I'm measuring from here to right here, and it's 40 3/4. And well, it had changed, and I had lost 3/4 of an inch, which of course is my 1/8 door gaps on either side. The door wouldn't fit. So I really didn't know what to do about it. I talked around to a lot of people that have done this kind of thing before. Everybody was kind of, different idea. And most thought that when the car was righted, that it would settle back out. The general consensus was flip the car. The car had just been on one side way too long, hanging like that. And that was probably what was doing it. And so the best guess was to just flip it the other side and see if it wouldn't settle back out, open back up. And that's what I did. And sure enough, within a few days, the gap opened it back up to the opening back up to what it should have been, 40 3/4. So as soon as I got that, I went ahead and bolted in a piece of angle. You can see it running across there, and it's a lot heavier metal than that flat bar. And it's bolted across the top where it needs to be, so that should keep it from moving. and it will not be on this side as long as it was on the other, because the floor pans and all that work is already done. So we're nearing the end, and hopefully it won't be that much longer on one side. I'm still checking my driver's side at least once a week to make sure they're okay, and it's not moving, so I think we're in good shape for now. You can see this is the rocker that that's that inside rocker that I had to fabricate, and the floor pans will have lips. They're welded from the underside, but they need to be welded up on the inside yet. So that'll be when the car is back over. I'm not going to do that while the car is on its side like this. Of course, as soon as I flipped it, I put a 2x4 in place for extra support. I don't want it. The rotisserie works good, but it wants to let the car just roll on over. Can't have that. So anyway, I'll show you where we are on the. This is that area behind the seats. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I've been meaning to mention, is if you look on these floor pans, see if I can get in close enough here, they recess in. Well, there's a piece of sheet metal that goes over. It's formed, and because I saw it when I took them out. I had to take them out. They were all rusted out of the older ones and everything. But I don't know what they're called, but they weld over that opening like that pit, and I don't know if they're necessary because I can't find them anywhere. I don't know if I should fabricate that and try to put those in, if it'd be okay to just leave that the way it is. Probably I'll wind up trying to make something similar to, or maybe just a piece of flat metal, just to, you know, my fear is that it's a strengthening thing, and it will lose some of the strength of the floor pan if there's not something there. So we'll find out. I'm going to try to do some more research on that. If anybody knows, if anybody's familiar with these cars, you know, just leave it in the comments. More than appreciate hearing it. But let's show you what we're doing on the other side, on the underside of the car. I do apologize for the light. This side of the garage, the lighting is not so good, and I've had to set up lights in here. So, but this is the Fender Well that I've been working on. I got it pretty much down to bare metal. As you can see, there's still a lot of surface rust. I can't get it all out. This would have been nice if this could have been blasted and got it down to bare metal, but that was just not practical with this car, with the condition that it was in. I've got this one patch here. This is not in yet, but I'm still sizing it and everything, but that's basically how it's going to go. I've had to make some of these parts again. Let's see if we can get over here and give you an idea. Right here, like right here, this had to be made. And down below, the same thing, the same exact part. Let's see if we can find that. You can see it down there, yeah. And I finished all those repairs down below and got that all welded up and patched. So what I'm finding is that on these Fender Wells, they're all damaged in the exact same place. There's rot around exactly where the Fender Well meets the quarter panel and the rocker. So they're like flip sides of the same damage, but it has made it go a little easier. So because I did it on the other side, I'm a little more familiar with it. And I thought maybe I'd catch a break on the front. I'll go up front here. I want to show you this. Like I said, I apologize for the lighting, but in the shadow. But I got this one all down. This is all. You can see. You can see that surface rust. I don't want to just put a rust preventer over that, or what do you call it? The encapsulator. I'm going to use the Por 15 over this, like I did on the other one. And I did talk to the POR 15 people I called, and they said that you just have to scuff it up really good, and you can put primer over it. So that's what we're going to do. You can see this repair is already made right here, because once I got the undercoating off, it looked good until I got the undercoating off. Then once the undercoating was off, it would have the exact same damage. It was just being held together by the undercoating. So I had to make the same repair here as I did on the other side. And I welded in a little cap here. I'm probably going to put some kitty hair around that too. just to cap this all off right here. So we're moving along, getting it. It may not look the best right now, but it will. Trying to think if there's anything else. The reason this undercoating thing is giving me such fits is because this car has quite a bit of nooks and crannies, and it's really tough to get to. I'll get some light in here, and you can see this is where the gas tank goes, and you can see how to get down in there. You know, I use aircraft stripper to get most of it with a putty knife, but then you still got to get all the residual, and it's just a bear. You have to get sanders down in there, and it's a tight fit, and no tool wants to go down in there. So that's one of the reasons why I've been so tied up, is it's just a nightmare trying to get all that stuff off of there. The other issue I'm going to have, and I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about this, but you can see this well here. This is where these hoses come out. Also the tachometer cable and the choke cable and all that comes through the car body. But you can see where this was welded in, and I actually broke the strap there, so that because I thought I'd be able to pull those hoses out. They're metal, and they run all the way up to the heater core from the radiator. But apparently they're welded in the tunnel running up to the console as well, so they will not pull out. I'd have to go in there and cut all that out, which I really don't want to do. But the problem's going to be is I don't have any real good way of getting underneath those lines there to clean that up, and I may have to wind up resorting to getting a small Dremel tool or something like that. Not really sure how I'm going to really attack that yet, because that plan of just being able to pull them out and open that up, it's not going to work. So anyway, that's where we are. I appreciate everybody watching, people that are following. If you have any comments or suggestions, once again, I really appreciate it. You know, especially if you've had experience with the 850 and have some insight. I still, you know, a long way off yet from being able to do the cross members, but I know it's going to be a bear, because these aftermarket cross members that I bought are not going to fit correctly. They're going to have to be altered. So if somebody has some experience with that, or knows, you know, where I could find out, that would be awesome. So, you know, happy to have your comments. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe, and we'll try to keep posted more often in the future.